What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. The more and more I think about the situation, seems like time is running out on Kawhi Leonard and PG and Paul George to return this season. You know, it's no definite that they will, but it's very uncertain that they will. And it's nothing in regards to like saying that they're not going to return, but it's very, very questionable at this point because with about 10 games left in the season, give or take, you know, now Ty Lue is resting players, basically gearing up for the play-in tournament, seems like, because they're just taking themselves out of contention for the 6th seed, which I think that's a mistake. But you know, it just seems like the time is running out on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to make a return this season. And, you know, like I said, nothing was no guarantee for them to come back. And a lot of people are saying, even, you know, Adrian Wojnarowski, you know, he spoke on the situation maybe a couple days ago, or at least I was hearing it a couple days ago, that it's a better chance that Paul George will make a return than Kawhi Leonard because ACL injuries, they just last a long time. They tend to can get re-aggravated much easier, and it's a lot that can go wrong with that. And I definitely understand that. But the way I've seen Kawhi Leonard ramp it up as much as he could, try to make a comeback, I still think there's hope, and I'm not going to close that door because that door is still open to me because Kawhi Leonard is a strong-minded player, and he is, you know, he's not a soft guy by any means. So, you know, you can't be soft being a Finals MVP, you know, winning championships, going through the trenches, the struggle. You know what I'm saying? He done been through all that. Plus, he played for the San Antonio Spurs, so he come from an era where coaches coach you hard and you got to play hard whenever your number's called. So definitely can't call him soft by any means, but at the same time, you got to be very protective of that knee and your future. So, I mean, you got to understand that as well. But like I said, I'm not closing the door on Kawhi Leonard either because it's definitely a chance he can make a comeback this season still, but we'll have to see how it goes. But it's definitely getting slimmer and slimmer, especially with him and Paul George. Paul George played 42 games this season, I believe, and Kawhi Leonard hasn't played any. And, you know, when you look at where they are right now in the 8th seed, they're more likely going to be a play-in tournament team. And it's like, man, you know, if you can't even make the playoffs or didn't even strive for that 6th seed playoff spot, it seems like now they're kind of like, you know, Ty Lue's kind of like giving up hope on that, you know, because he's sitting resting players and things like that. And as I said earlier, you know, in my previous video, you know, Reggie Jackson didn't even want to rest that game last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He wanted to actually play because in his mind, he's thinking the same thing most people are thinking. At least try to go after that 6th seed. But I mean, you know, now you put yourself further and further behind, and you know, it might be a far gone conclusion, possibly. I mean, I guess the numbers say it's still a chance, but not much of a chance. So, but as far as Kawhi and PG, you know, I said before, you know, if they can come back, you know, definitely put them out there. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the Clippers might be thinking differently. You know what I'm saying? If the Clippers feel like they're a play-in tournament team and they don't get past the play-in tournament, or, you know, they're just not going to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're just kind of like, they kind of have a nevertheless attitude about it. Like almost like, okay, we're going to just work with what we got, be content, get into the play-in tournament. And if that's all we get, that's good. We're not going to rush Kawhi and PG back because, you know, we'll be a better team next season. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the way the Clippers are thinking. And I'm not saying that they are thinking that way, but just going by the actions and everything, it just looks that way. And I can tell you that's a bad look, and that's not the way to look at it. Because like I said, if you got an opportunity to get two of them players back on the floor, then you allow it to happen. You don't let them sit out and punt this season away going into next season, just hoping that we're going to be this juggernaut type team. Right. You will be. The Clippers will be the most scariest team in the NBA next season. But what if Kawhi or PG gets hurt again? What if a major key component gets hurt again? What if somebody else gets hurt on the Clippers? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot that can go wrong. What if Norman Powell gets hurt again, you know, or something like that? So I feel like, you know, the Clippers are just kind of, you know, punting the season away, sort of. I mean, I still feel like there's a lot of fight in them. I really do. But, you know, I feel like, if Kawhi and PG doesn't return, what I'm saying, of course they're not going to win a championship, but it's almost as if they're not, taking it to the next level to me. Because like I said, if you could have got the 6th seed or at least fought for it and possibly got it, you could have rested Kawhi Leonard and PG a little bit more, and they wouldn't have had to play, you would have to be in the play-in tournament. They get a little bit more rest, and then maybe they'll come back for the first round. Who knows? But I'm not saying it still can't happen, because it can, but the chances are looking very, very slim for them to return, simply because it's like 10 games left. Paul George is talking about being reevaluated again, even though he's in non-contact drills, with that elbow. I don't know if Kawhi Leonard has took any contact with his, the way he's going about doing his business. It's nothing's really definite. Nothing's really in the air. And I do understand the Clippers are a secretive organization. They've been that way forever, it seemed like. And especially with Ty Lue, they definitely are going to be that way, because that's just the type of guy he seems to be, but, I still think they might be, making a mistake about the play-in tournament thing. But at the same time, in their mind, they probably know whether they're going to get Kawhi and PG back or not. And in their mind, they might be thinking they might not be getting them back. So why actually strive for the 6th seed and all that, knowing that, they're not going to get their players back or something like that. Now, if that's the case, then okay, then that, exonerates a lot right there. But, I still think there's a chance for them to come back. There's still some open doors. The doors are closing, but they're still open, and if you look at this season, the way it's unfolded for the Clippers, they've done really good, but honestly, really good isn't good enough. It's all about winning championships. And like I said, you got to find a way to complete the season. If you start it, you got to find a way to finish it. And the only way to finish a season for the Clippers, especially since Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have come there these last couple seasons, the only way to finish is with a championship. Now, of course, with those two players being injured, it's not much they can do being on the sidelines, because they're trying to make a comeback and everything like that. But it's tough when you have those type of injuries, But just looking at the Clippers season overall, it's been a joyride for the most part, watching them win a lot of games, with what they have, the talent they have on the floor and everything like that. But, at some point you got to see the main guys come back, and they got to be there, and they got to be on the floor. And, like I said, if this team goes into that play-in tournament, which it looks like they're going to, who knows who they face in the play-in tournament, and who knows whether they make it out of the play-in tournament. Their season might actually stop there, possibly. I hope not, but at the same time, it's very possible. And that's just the way the dice falls sometimes, but at the same time, I don't think it's really looking too promising for those two players to make a return, because it just seems like there's no updates on them further in regards to them, exceeding their progress that they've already have. By now, if Paul George didn't have the surgery, then why is there reports about him taking non-contact drills? Now, of course, the reports, you can't go by too much of that stuff, because sometimes some of it could be a little fraud. I'll give you that. And I definitely understand that. But I don't feel like Paul George is taking too much contact if there's notions out there about him being reevaluated again to possibly, make a return, because it just doesn't seem likely. And, when Ty Lue said a couple weeks ago, he's not where he needs to be. He's going to need more rest. He's going to need this. He's kind of far off from where he needs to be. That kind of put a little question mark, a bigger question mark beside Paul George. And of course, the question mark has always been beside Kawhi Leonard this whole season, because he didn't play none this season yet. So, it's definitely a possibility both of those players will return. But at the same time, you got to start asking yourself now, when? Because if it's only 10, 15 games or less in the season, well, remember, they need rhythm before they actually go out there and play in a playoff game of that magnitude. Because when you play in that magnitude, playoff basketball is different. The air is different. The atmosphere is different. The players are different. The fans are different. The cheering is different. Everything is different when it comes to playoffs. So you need rhythm going into the playoffs. And this is the reason why I say the door isn't closed on Kawhi and PG, but it's closing, because you can't seem to we can't seem to get a definitive answer on where they are specifically and how they're doing and what progress they really have made in regards to making this comeback. You're just hearing a bunch of things about, where they possibly could be and what's going on and different stories are coming out. My thing is, I want to hear the real thing. I want to know whether they're coming back or not, personally. And I believe that they will, but I just don't know the severity of it, because like I said, with this less of a games in the season left, how much rhythm are they going to have? Even if they do come back with 3-4 games left in the season, how much rhythm are they going to have going into a play-in tournament or a playoffs against teams who've been playing all season and teams who got rhythm, who got, that chemistry built and everything? Because you got to understand, the Clippers got, a lot of young players on here, Brandon Boston, you added Norman Powell and then you added, Robert Covington, now Kawhi's played with Norman Powell before, but I'm just saying there's players on this team that Kawhi's never played with before. So the chemistry is not there. And besides that, his rhythm is not there. So he can't even be the dominant player that he usually would be unless he has his rhythm. So that's my thing. Throwing them into the playoffs or the play-in tournament is going to be tough. And I think the Clippers are looking at that, because it's like, man, we just throw them right there in the play-in tournament. If they can come back around that time, who's to say they're going to help us win? Because they don't have no rhythm. They might disrupt our rhythm because they haven't played in so long. And a lot of times that's what can happen. You get a superstar or a couple superstars back. Sometimes they can disrupt the rhythm of the team if the team has been playing very well, because they haven't ingratiated themselves in the offense and on the floor with the team enough to get their own rhythm, to find their rhythm and their niche with the other players on the floor. So, I definitely understand that, and I definitely believe that the Clippers are looking at that, which is basically make them having a, inquiring moment in their mind about wondering whether they should let both of these players come back. Because I personally believe Kawhi Leonard's ready to come back now. I personally believe that. Kawhi Leonard, throughout this whole season, hearing things from his camp, Kawhi Leonard is thinking go, 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 go. He's thinking that. Now, people around him in the organization are telling him to, slow down, take your time, things like that. But I personally believe Kawhi Leonard's ready to go now. I believe if you ask him, he's ready to go out there and give it a try. I just personally believe that, because he's ramping it up as much as he can, and you see him doing drills in front of the media, things like that. You don't even see Jamal Murray doing things like that. Jamal Murray completely tore his ACL like last year. You don't even see Jamal Murray ramping up or doing anything like that. It's just Kawhi Leonard's just eager to go out there and do it, and I definitely respect that about him. And I believe Paul George is ready to go too. I believe it mentally in his mind, he's ready to give it a try as well, because they know they're basketball players. They know every year is not guaranteed. Just because the Clippers are going to have a scary team next year, it doesn't mean they're going to win it, because something can happen. An injury can happen. So it's like every team is one injury away from not winning a championship or taking it the distance. So with that being notified, with that being noticed, with that being out in the NBA world, which everybody knows, that you got to go for it now. And I know the Clippers want to be precautious and hold on to their future as much as they can and be precautious as much as they can. But if these players are ready to go, you got to let them go. Because like I said, there's no guarantee they'll win a championship next year. The Warriors might be better. Hell, the Memphis Grizzlies might be better. You see what I'm saying? Like, all these teams are getting better. So there's no guarantee. There's no anything. You almost got knocked out by the Dallas Mavericks last year in the first round with one superstar, one guy. So, and it just goes to show nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is easy. So if they can come back, if they're ready, if they're healthy, put them out there. Let them go out there and give it a try. Don't go out there and punch your season away. And don't give yourself an opportunity when this is all you've came together for. You built this operation to win a championship. Whether it's this year, last year, whatever, you built this operation to win a championship. So there's no need to let it pass you by. I understand the Clippers are being precautious. I understand all that. I really do get it. And you have to be precautious with these players, because you do want them to be around to at least, live up to their contract. If you pay them for 4 years, 180, 200 million, you want to at least live out 2 or 3 of those years out of 4, to solidify what you paid them for. I definitely understand that. It's a business. We all get that. But at the same time, it's about winning championships too. And the Clippers don't have a championship. So the reason why they don't have a championship, because it wasn't meant to happen years ago. But now it's meant for them to get one. The only way they're going to do it is to push themselves to get it. It's not going to be given to them. So with that mentality, with that being said, if Kawhi and PG are ready to go, cut the chain off their neck. You know what I'm saying? Let them loose. Because I'm telling you, the West is wide open. And if they did make a comeback, if they, you know what I'm saying, they can win it. They can win it. And it's no doubt they can win it because the Lakers are not where they're supposed to be. Nobody else in the West scares them. Everybody else in the West is beatable. Any team in the East is beatable, really. So, I mean, because if you think about it, really, there's no big three type team where it's like three mega superstars on a team. Because now the Nets don't have James Harden. Now every team is almost like evenly distributed to a degree. You can't say the Lakers got a big three because they can't win anything with their big three. So I wouldn't consider them a big three because a big three should be winning, not losing the way they are. So my point is the West is wide open. And like I said, you know, you got to go for it now. You can't sit there and just wait because hesitation leads to expiration. That's what I was always taught. So if that notion is true, which I do believe that, hesitating on this season can mean that you're killing your team going forward because the opportunity in the window of winning a championship gets smaller each year you don't win it. And that's just the way it goes in every sport. So with that being said, the Clippers need to make a decision and they need to make one quickly and they need to really actually, you know what I'm saying, put out, whether Kawhi and PG are really going to come back or, they can or they cannot or whatever the case may be. And, you know what I'm saying, let everything be known because like I said, it's too late in the season not to know. It's too late in the season really for them to even get a rhythm to go into the play-in tournament or something like that. Not unless they came back like in the next 2 games or something like that, then that'd be different. But it's really too late in the season for them to try to get a rhythm when it's really no time left and you got a play-in tournament coming up. Or possibly if the Clippers can make the playoffs, which I don't see that happening now because the 6th seed is far off now. You got real basketball coming up now. You got the, do or die, win or go home basketball coming up now here soon. So, with that being said, like I said, the window's closing on their opportunity to win a championship, but the window's also closing for Kawhi and PG to return this season. But of course, the doors aren't completely closed. The windows aren't completely closed, but it's getting very close. And as Clipper Nation need to have their eyes open and be a little bit weary now because, neither superstars come back. And like I said, it's been noted, Paul George is more likely to come back than Kawhi. But even if Paul George comes back with these little minimal games, what rhythm is he going to have? And like I said, when a star player comes back, sometimes he disrupts the rhythm of the team that's actually playing good right now. So, I mean, a lot can go wrong with that. But I mean, hey, maybe it can all turn out good also if everybody can get healthy and make a run at it. But at the same time, we got to see what happens and we got to just see how the dice fall and, see where everything ends up. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Cali out.